In this first case, we are going to use an elastic, an orthodontic elastic that we are going to use and put on the scan bodies. Please note the scan bodies that we use today are packed on covered, and they are easily damageable, but the metal tools that we use, we have to take extra care not to graze them and to have a perfect structures on them when we scan them. First thing, we have to dilate the elastic and trying not to touch the scan body. And then when we remove the metal tool, we have to use pliers, a second tool, to keep this elastic dilated and in place. Place it just shy of the base of the scan body, of the scannable part of the scan body. After we have done this, we are going to place this on the next scan body. When we do this, bear in mind that this elastic has to stay in tension, that the scan bodies have to be tightened really well, and that the elastic has to be tensioned. If this elastic is not tensioned, then it's going to move and it is going to influence the scan precision. With this technique, very important, the elastic has to stay in tension. After you place the elastic, and also you make sure, and after you make sure that it's on the non-scannable part of the scan body, you can reposition it a little with the pliers. We are going to start to add material on top of it. The assistant will help us with this, and this material will help the scanner to know exactly where it is. We have to add detail from flowable composite on the vestibular, occlusal, and palatal side, so that the scanner always knows where it is positioned when they see the structure. I'm going to use here a flowable composite, and this flowable composite you'll see right now. I'm going to inject it through the holes of the elastic to the top of the crest, and then retract the syringe, come back to the elastic, then extrude some more, and then the assistant will help us by hardening the material, and we will also add more composite. So we have a particular shape on every side of this object that we are building. We have to not have composite on the scan bodies to not modify the geometry that the scanner has to recognize here. We add to the vestibular. We're going to try and make it a little higher and add detail to all directions. It doesn't have to be a glob form, it has to have detail everywhere. We will remove this little part that we saw earlier that would be hard to scan and would induce a little bit of imprecision with the pliers. And now we are going to start scanning the arch. From the previous webinar, you have to remember that scanning the arch is started from the occlusal surface, but always seeing a little part of the papillas, and when we move forward, we'll have to complete these surfaces and just fill the holes. On the left upper side, you'll see the position of the tip of the scanner. We angulate a little bit, as you can see now, trying to get also parts of the soft tissues in the intercanine area. we are going to try to wiggle the scanner so we get both vestibular and parietal side. Now we go forward on the occlusal surface. We will stop just shy of the scan bodies. We don't need the data from the scan bodies right now. In the lower part, you will see that now we are scanning in SD mode, and this part of the arch is okay to be scanned in SD, but the scan bodies should be in HD resolution. So we are going to just impression the arch, but not the scan bodies right now. We get as much of the arch as possible from the first pass. If some parts are not scanned well, we can add data later. We switch to the vestibular right now. Add some more data there. You can see how nice the scanner just completes the parts between the occlusal surface and the gingiva. It just completes the missing data. We go forward now. Get the last part of the missing information. We have the full arch now. We are going to stop. Very important here is that the last two teeth, the last two premolars, are very well impressioned in reliability mode, that they are green now, because in every step that we are going to forward to the scan bodies, we are going to come back to these teeth, and these teeth are going to stabilize the scan data that we are getting, so they should be very, very precise. As you can see, we have a full arch finished, and it's very detailed. Now, to prepare to scan the scan bodies, we are going to cut away everything that we already got from them. This part is important to be impressioned in HD. We are going to switch HD on, as you can see, and also we are going to see sleep checker switched on. It's very important that the data is very precise, so sleep checker is good. We block everything, and we are going to add data in HD, and we block everything, because if not, the HD scan will override the SD scan at the limits. You are going to have maybe some discrepancy, which we don't want to do that.
So right now we are going to block this area, and after we have blocked it, we're going to go forward. I always recommend that after we do all this, before you start scanning in HD, you just take a little time and do an optimization. Now, as you see, we are going to start and continue the scan over the scan bodies. It's going to be a pretty easy way of doing this, because the flowable composite in the middle will allow the scanner to not break contact with the surfaces, and in this way it's going to allow for an easier scanning of these scan bodies. You can see now I'm trying to keep contact between the premolars and the scan bodies, always coming back to them to add a little bit of precision by letting the scanner know exactly where it is. And at this point, as you can see, everything is nice in place. At this point, if you feel that at any stage you cannot add data, you can stop for a little while and just optimize, and then try to scan again. And this will also help very much with erroneous situations that the software will resolve by its own. Now, you see we have now, as you can see, we have a double scan composed of the teeth in SD and also of the scan bodies scanned in HD. At this point, please also hit the optimize button. Let the surface of the scan bodies merge correctly with the rest of the model. And now we're going to go forward at the scan body stage if you already don't have it. If you don't have it already. Okay. And in this stage, it's going to be very easy. You just get inside the stage and just press the import button on the, as you can see on the lower left here. And you are going to bring in the previous data, scanned data, all of it. You just bring it in and don't even touch it. And then you go back to the previous stage. And now that we have all the maxilla and the scan bodies in the scan body stage, in this previous stage, in the maxilla stage, we can erase the scan bodies because these scan bodies won't disappear. They already are in the next stage. And we are going to do a cut to erase them. As you can see here, please take care to only erase the scan bodies and the elastic, the orthodontic elastic with the flowable material, not more. After you have done this, as you can see, they only they were selected. We block the surface and just add data. Add data that is now going to contain the emergency profiles of the implants, the gingiva around the implants. Okay, we have blocked everything, as you can see. And now we don't have to scan in HD anymore. It is enough. It is enough to scan in SD. We remove the scan bodies, and we will leave the emergency profiles visible. Do bear in mind that after removing the scan bodies, it is ideal to get the emergency profile in under 2 minutes because afterwards it's going to start collapsing. So we start also for the premolars. This is why we have to have a very good impression of them, and we are going to go forward and get as much of the gingiva, of the fixed gingiva around the implants as possible. And then we are going to go back and start from another angle, from the palatal this time around, and add the missing portions of the emergency profile. And then we are also going to do this from the vestibular side. And in this way, we'll probably get almost every data that we need right now. As you can see, we are going to stop there, and at this stage we have, so right now we have the scan body stage, and in the scan body stage we have the scan bodies, and in the maxillary stage we have the gingiva, the emergency profile. Okay. Now that we have taken this first impression with the elastic, let's see how the software processed it. I will open the case in Medit link after it got finished, and you will see here the same case. And let's just explain a little bit. I'm going to remove the scan bodies and tell you that because the software got the first full image of the arch in the scan body stage with the full arch and also the scan bodies and the elastic, and then we got the completion of the arch with the emergency profiles, the software was able to just cut away everything, every data it had, and just leave these scan bodies here in place, as you can see them. And they will be very easy usable by the technician and to be imported in ExoCAD or 3Shape or any other software. You can see how well the surface is represented, so it didn't get touched by the elastic and by the flow composite. And these two parts are going to be used to do the matching of these scan bodies. So if, on the other hand, we are going to use scan bodies that are only composed of two parts of the connection and the scannable surface starting directly from the connection, like you see here in these scan bodies, and all these surface is contained in the library and is needed by the library to do a good matching. So if you are going to use such scan bodies, as you can see here, my recommendation to you would be, after using this method, is going to remove this elastic. Don't remove too much, because every little bit that we remove is not giving precision. So we lose precision if we remove too much. So be very careful when doing this. Just paint with little paint brushes or with the cut tool, as you can see here. Just remove as little as possible and only the elastic, as you can see. I do this in Medit design after I finish the case, but before I send it to the technician, I am considering that this part is related to us and to the first scanning part, so they should get clean scans. As you can see here, I'm almost done. It's very quick to do. And almost done now. Just these little floating parts. So I consider I got everything. Even if I don't from the first go through, I will be able to return by adding some more areas, or if I cut too much, it's very easy to hit the undo button in Medit link, so everything is going to come back. You see how thorough I try to be. Okay, now we hit the delete button, and because we eliminate this elastic, exocad or tree shape are going to be much more precise in their alignment step of the library of the scan bodies with actual real scan.